Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen news, looking at the week's updates with Alpha 3.6 delays, a deeper look at some of its features, persistent universe roadmap changes, Crytek v CIG lawsuit bits, and CitizenCon tickets. The Wave 1 ones anyway sell out within seconds. All of this takes us up to date with the project for the week ending the 30th of June 2019. Let's take a look at the newsletter first. Alpha 3.6 remains under extreme scrutiny from the bold and brave EVOCATI and moves steadily towards a wider PTU release. Also this week, CitizenCon 2949 tickets, advocacy agents make life hard, a new Origin-centric issue of Jump Point, and we wrap up the inaugural season of Inside Star Citizen. All of the links for everything we discuss and the newsletter from CIG can be found down below. CitizenCon tickets Wave 1 sell out within a few seconds. They basically had 4 batches of 125 tickets, so 500 tickets total. These tickets went on sale on the Thursday and Friday, and there are going to be more tickets available in the future, but they sold out within a few seconds. Each batch, bam, just gone. I also suspect that some of those tickets could fail payment processing or be cancelled, so they'll be added back into the system. So if you're desperate to get a ticket, you are going to have more available chances in the future. The tickets were £100 or $125 each. However, there seem to be some oddities for pricing in euros. Apparently, they were substantially more expensive for some backers. I don't know if that was a tax thing or a mistake yet, so I'll have a look and see if CIG make a comment on that, but the CitizenCon tickets this year seem to be very popular. I'll link CitizenCon down below again as well, but it's in Manchester, England this year on the 23rd of November and coincides with the anniversary sale as well. So they're sort of like having all this stuff at the same time, and we'll go over lots and more sort of like expectations and rumours for CitizenCon closer to the time and as we hear them, but I've got some videos on that already. Persistent Universe roadmap updates. So Alpha 3.6 is still with EVOCATI currently, and they haven't gone to Wave 1 PTU yet, which is when it gets opened up to some of the more dedicated testers that aren't EVOCATI, as well as subscribers and concierge. 3.6 has been delayed, basically. It requires some more time getting blockers fixed and the planned features successfully integrated. There is no current date for wider PTU or the live build of 3.6 at this stage, but the wider PTU could literally happen at any time over the next week or so. It should be very close, but it is literally, they are waiting to get rid of some stuttering and some deadlocks and some blockers. Since they've been cleared out of the patch, it will go to a wider PTU. Over the last week, for 3.6, the law system and the Vanguard were completed on the roadmap. There are 5 features left to complete, but they're mostly making progress. Weapon attachments, which will see the addition of scopes and optics for FPS weapons, and customization of that is in 3.6. But later on, we're going to have barrel, underbarrel, and magazine customizations as well added to the mix. There's the black market economy, which needs to be finished as well. This is going to allow the selling of stolen goods and items in 3.6 at locations like scrapyards, which are new locations that are found around the Stanton system. In the future, these locations will allow for the selling of stolen ships and other items as well. The shield systems refactor and performance optimization haven't made any progress shown on the roadmap this week, but they're obviously being tested by the EVOCATI. Performance optimization is just sort of made in general as they push forward with patches. Ship rentals and the 890 jump, which is coming in a 3.6.x patch, basically not the initial release of 3.6, but a little bit later. They haven't made any tangible progress this week. The ship rental system will allow you to effectively buy a ship for X amount of days. They haven't decided, something like 1, 3, or 7 days, or maybe you'll be able to choose which of those periods that you are able to rent them for. But basically, short term, you're going to be able to have these ships and they're going to be effectively owned by you. Until the timer runs out anyway. So if you reclaim them, whatever, they count as you owning them until they disappear. For Alpha 3.7, new tasks have been added for rest stop space station interior variations and bartender AI improvements. Expect to see some changes to 3.7 on the roadmap after 3.6 is released, and they can sort of like more effectively schedule the patch and what's going to be in it. Alpha 3.8 has seen lots of progress too, with the Microtech collection of clothing and assets almost complete, and big progress on new Babbage version 1 of it anyway. Even the Carrack has actually seen some tasks completed. It's my expectation that some of that work on 3.8 especially is basically because they want it to be shown at CitizenCon 2019. Some of that, whether it be new locations, whether it be the Carrack, or all of it, that sort of stuff. They did also show off the Carrack's Captain's Quarters this week, which was actually pretty cool. This week's sneak peek was some form of FPS weapon, which looks to me like a pistol. It bears the inscription Ferron Smiths since 2921. Ferron is a system that's going to be in Star Citizen, a star system. It's clearly highly detailed, this weapon of whatever it is, but I don't really know exactly what it is. Inside Star Citizen and Star Citizen Live looked at a lot of features coming in 3.6 in a bit more detail. The law system has different areas of Stanton, have different laws basically, and you can move between these areas and then be affected by different laws. Some of these laws are misdemeanors. They'll get you a fine if you do something wrong, which then need to be paid off at a kiosk in that local area of space. Other crimes might get you chased by NPCs, bounty hunters, get you sort of like criminal ratings. There's much more risk with narcotics and smuggling now. The sort of NPCs can detect if you've got smuggled items or stolen goods. Hopefully some of these fines and laws will help prevent things like pad ramming and other more griefy type things. There is hacking gameplay and missions now, a hacking chip item apparently. We're going to see a lot more sort of like interaction with some objects and sort of the comm arrays and things like that. Expect some cool gameplay stuff there. There are various comms and voice over IP improvements with channels to make the system much more ergonomic. They are trying to cluster more gameplay around each of the planets and their area of space so that you won't need to move around from one planet to another regularly if you don't want to, or if you have a smaller ship. They are constantly iterating on ship, commodity, and item prices for the economy. There are ship purchase terminals now that will allow you to buy many more items, or many more ships than before. The flight model's seen tweaks and improvements, including hover mode being added, so that you have sort of like at low speeds in gravity, you use the VTOL thrusters of your ship. Your ship effectively acts like a helicopter, but they've also added things in like acceleration control and made some balance updates. A large section of Inside Star Citizen also looked at AI and improvements they're making with that, which I assume is for Alpha 3.7 and beyond. FPS AI have more modular behaviors, and they are focusing on getting AI sensibly engaging from cover and in the open, and then switching between those sort of modes, and then using cover sensibly and retreating when players push them. Ship AI combat behaviors and improvements will have ships able to do orbital strafing maneuvers, flybys and breakaways, while also trying to coordinate with friendlies and preserve their own lives. They will also be able to navigate their environments much more sensibly and easily. Shopkeepers and more social AI are getting various improvements, with the plan that vendors will be engaging and sort of like immerse players when they're interacting with them or watching them. In regard to the Crytek versus CIG Star Citizen lawsuit, there are a couple of minor updates. There is a settlement conference planned for the 16th of July, I believe. Potentially, this could see the end of the case if settled. And if settled, it's likely that we won't know exactly what's happened and what was exactly agreed on due to non-disclosure agreements and NDAs. That's just sort of what typically happens, but we'll have to wait and see. It's possible that it could get fought out in court. Also connected to this, there's a bond request for $2.2 million that we've talked about a lot recently that CIG have been seeking from Crytek. This has actually now been taken under submission by the court and does not require a further oral argument or anything, and we should see the outcome of that shortly, though it looks very likely to be granted, in my opinion, in favour of CIG, obviously. I've got a playlist going through the case in much more detail, which I will link below for those of you that are interested, but we will keep on that and all the other news in Star Citizen as and when it is released. And that's really it for this week and the end of June. Inside Star Citizen, the main Star Citizen weekly news show, is taking a break for a few weeks, but there's going to be lots of content from 3.6 and monthly reports to keep us busy in the meantime. If you have any questions or feedback, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For June, we have an Origin 890 Jump, the massive luxury ship that is a huge sort of like capital luxury ship. It's been donated by Odyssey Interstellar, a friendly industrial expansionist organization in Star Citizen that focus on mining, trading, industry, exploration, research, and infrastructure. In short, commerce is their goal. They run regular weekly events in-game now. Please check them out if you are looking for an org to join. Links down below. There are a couple of services I shill for as well that you might find useful. If you're looking for a VPN, then check out NordVPN. I use it for security, privacy, privacy, and more. It has massive advantages over free VPNs. And if you use the code BoredGamer, you get up to 75% off your subscription. Boom! Also, there is Shadow Cloud Gaming. This is an alternative to having your own or upgrading your gaming rig on PC. It leverages the power of the internet and your own Shadow server that emulates a high-spec Windows 10 PC, so you can play up to 144Hz 4K anywhere with an old PC, laptop, smartphone, or even tablet. Freedom to play anywhere. The internet is good enough anyway, and it works really well with Star Citizen and all the games that I play, and is constantly updated and even improved with new hardware. Again, use the code BoredGamer for discount. Links below to all of that jazz. Thank you to all that support the channel through Patreon, the YouTube join button, donations, subscribe star, as well as anyone that just generally subscribes, likes, comments, and shares my content. Dings that bell, ding ding. If you feel so inclined, you can find links to all of that down below. A special thank you though to my VIP producers this month: Dalamars, Catastrus, Raz, Gear Khan, General Ventador, Robert Johnson, and Andy Green, who have given well beyond the norm in support for the channel. I know a load of other people have, but I can't name them all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the verse.